Whoa, hey, bienvenidos a todos. Welcome, everyone. I am the Seamster. And if you're watching this, that means you want to know something about the handheld sewing machine. And if you haven't checked out any of my other videos on the handheld sewing machine, check it out. Just look down below. It'll say the Seamster. Click on that. It'll take you to my channel, and you'll scan through and find all the handheld sewing machine videos that I've done. I absolutely love the handheld sewing machine. It is very versatile, and it can be used on all types of fabrics. So simply go to my channel, check out the handheld sewing machines, and you'll see me troubleshooting, giving you all the answers that you need, and also showing me making things with the handheld sewing machine. So now let's get to what this video is about. This video is probably going to help you with why is it skip stitching, why isn't it stitching at all, why is it knotting up, why is it pushing the fabric down into the sewing machine, because the handheld sewing machine comes with an all-in-one needle, meaning this needle is heavy duty. Okay, I can actually sew, if you go through my videos in the past, I can sew through canvas, I can sew through marine bolt vinyl, denim, jersey net. It's an all-in-one. But the trouble is that when people are wanting to sew through fine fabrics, this right here is like a polyester nylon stretchy material, and it's a really fine fabric. So just pretend that this is the material I'm sewing through, and this is my needle, my finger. What happens is that it's so thick, the needle, is that it pushes the material down into the handheld sewing machine, and it just keeps doing that, and it balls up, and it ruins what you want to do. So that's why it's very important to know that it could be just the needle. What I recommend is that you get yourself some thicker fabric, maybe like denim, and see if that will work first. Okay, so if you know that works, you know it's not you know it's not the handheld sewing machine, and it could not be needle. But the thing is that this fabric is so lightweight, is that again, it's so thick, it's just punching it right down in there, and the fabric is just too thin for the needle. So now let me show you guys what I'm talking about when it comes to the needles. I have two needles here. This needle here is the one that works with the handheld sewing machine. And it's very thick. That one would be classified either a 16 or an 18. And I would say that it's more of an 18, meaning that it's very thick. The needles, when they get ranged from high to low. This needle on this side is a 14. But this one in particular, you can tell that it's a lot thinner than this one here. But this needle is not going to work with the handheld sewing machine because look how long it is. This is made for a standard sewing machine. So if you do have needles that work for a standard sewing machine, they will work with the handheld sewing machine. But what you're going to have to do is you are going to have to cut it. That's right. There's a little work involved here. And all I did is I took my little cutter, my grinding cutter, and I cut off the top part right here, the same length as the original handheld sewing machine needle. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to place it inside of the handheld sewing machine, and we're going to see if it's going to work. And I still have a flat. And that's very important to have here when you are going to make that cut. It still needs to have a flat so that when you go to put this in the handheld sewing machine, it will catch the screw and it will flatten down on it right there. Now we have to replace the needle. And we all should know how that's done. And if you don't, like I said, go to my channel and simply look up troubleshooting for the handheld sewing machine. So I'm going to pull out the thread. And I'm going to go ahead and lower the arm all the way down. And I'm going to make sure that my safety switch is on so that the power does not work. And I'm going to go ahead and take this cover off and set it to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and raise the arm all the way back up again so I can see the entire needle. Now I have to loosen this. Okay, and now the needle can come out. Good. Now I know that this needle is the same length or close enough to the same length, and I'm going to take my new needle using the flat part of the needle, because that's where the screw is going to tap into, and I'm going to set it back into the handheld sewing machine, pushing it down to the length that I need. It should be right on the money, and then simply tighten this up. And you got to make sure now that the needle is on the flat. Okay, that's the most important part here. And you'll know that because the hole or the eye of the needle will be facing outward and back. Okay. Okay, and that's nice and tight. So now I'm going to just go ahead and rethread this. Remember, it has to go from the back side of the needle towards the front. And now that is good to go. Oh, it's not going through my tension wheel. I didn't. They're ready to give it a try and see how it works. Okay, I have that fine material that I had in the very beginning, that stretchy nylon polyester. It's just really thin. Okay, so safety switch is on, and go ahead and put the material underneath the needle. Okay, so there we go right there. And all I want to do is just show you guys that this does work. So again, power switch, and I'm going to go ahead and just, here we go. Okay, I got a nice little chain stitch here. Snip that off. There is the surface, and that looks really nice and tight. And we'll turn it over to the back side, and wow, that chain stitch looks really nice, everybody. Again, that needle that's in there is a 14. Okay, a 14, and that's just a standard universal sewing machine needle. Okay, 14 with a flat side as the top. Where you would put the screw against it. Again, you seen me cut it off, and that's just proof that it does work. And bam, just like that, everybody. That's how you change out the needles in a handheld sewing machine. So if you can get a hold of some smaller needles, remember, the smaller the number, 12, 14, 16, 18. The smaller the number, the thinner the needle, and the thinner the needle, the better that it's going to work for fine fabrics when it comes to the handheld sewing machine. So, remember what I showed you guys. It's pretty easy as long as you got somebody that can grind the top of that needle off and go ahead and set it in there so that set screw will work. It will work, as you've seen, for fine fabrics. All right, everybody, remember, the only excuse you can make is the one to actually say, get out there and make a difference. Be something positive for yourself or someone else, everybody. And remember, peace out, everyone. Oh, cue the music.